While Orlando has Disney World and San Francisco has the Golden Gate Bridge, the symbol of this part of town is the Bronx Zoo.
When you live in a place like the Bronx, you kind of think about pride in the borough. And you've got the Yankees and you've got the Garden. And then you think about the zoo and that there are three places in the world that you can just write the name and the mail will get there. And I think it speaks to the importance of them. One is the Vatican, the other is the North Pole, and the third is the Bronx Zoo. So I think we're in pretty good company.
It's a place that delights visitors, young and old. Which animal is your favorite?
My favorite animal is the tiger.
A tiger.
Definitely like the tigers.
Tiger.
I actually got to see him close up.
Definitely can entertain you pretty quickly.
I never saw anything like that.
This is the largest metropolitan zoo in the United States. It first opened to the public back in 1899, featuring over 800 animals. Now, it's home to more than 4,000 of them. And the zoo's success is interlaced with the success of the borough it calls home.
The zoo opened about a year after the Bronx was created. Our history is truly aligned with the history of the Bronx. So as the Bronx has done well, so has the zoo done well. So when we've had moments of opportunity and challenge, so has the borough. So we really are mirror images of each other. The people on Arthur Avenue have been very helpful. One of them, Carmela Lucilla, who runs a Gideo's pastry shop, she said, when the Bronx Zoo does well, I sell more cannolis. Because at the end of the day, if we're doing well, so are the businesses on Arthur Avenue and throughout the borough.
The zoo is also a retreat for Fordham students. John Cavelli, the spokesman for the zoo, should know. He was a Fordham undergrad himself.
So when I was at Fordham, we would sneak away to the New York Botanical Garden or to the Bronx Zoo, and we knew that Wednesdays were free here at the Bronx Zoo, so it was a cheap place to come for a date. You could just literally walk across the street and come here. When you look at the campus and where it's situated, you realize that you have the best that a city like New York has to offer.
Fordham students agree that the Bronx Zoo is the place to get away for a quick study break.
I picked Fordham University because I love all the exhibits at Hale in New York City, and it's one of the best places to be, including the Bronx Zoo.
I just like to enjoy seeing the animals, especially in New York City. Like, you don't get to see that many wild animals, and it's just a nice place to go. A lot of events. It's really pretty over there. Just a way to get away from school.
Tons of exhibits, very modern, great staff. Just a great place to be for the day.
In addition to being a convenient walk across the street visit for Fordham students, Cavelli says families share meaningful experiences at the Bronx Zoo.
My parents celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary a couple of years ago, and we went through all the photos and we're looking and trying to see those great shots of us as kids, and we find the photo of my dad and my brother and me in front of the monkey house. That made me realize in a really kind of profound personal way that the Bronx Zoo is a place where memories are made, and I've got to tell you that I haven't met a New Yorker that doesn't have a story about coming here as a kid with their parents and learning about wildlife and seeing their first gorilla or experiencing the grandeur of elephants or seeing giraffes for the first time. And those experiences help bond families together. You're having a good time and you're learning together.
And do you guys go to the Bronx Zoo with your families a lot?
It's very educational, definitely something fun to do during the day. I love taking my sister when she comes to visit me from back home.
It's a good place to spend time with your kids and have a good time, show them something new, and it's also educational.
Cavelli says the zoo tries to tell a story through each exhibit to show what happens to the wild habitats impacts our world as well. Cavelli says by saving the wildlife, we're saving the biodiversity of the earth.
There's a flower in Madagascar called the rosy periwinkle, which is used to help with cancer. And that flower was found in the great forests of Madagascar. So when we talk about deforestation, you realize that we're possibly killing our opportunity to find that next cure for cancer or that next cure for some disease. So it becomes important that you can tell the story of why nature is important through the eyes of wildlife. And I think that's one of the great things that zoos can do. And it's also a great way for families to come together and learn these important lessons. If you want to travel the world without leaving the Bronx, come to the Bronx Zoo and see some of the greatest assemblage of animals and learn a great deal about the natural world and what you can do to help save that planet that we live on. Actually, coming here is an act of conservation.
tiger is endangered.
And if we lose that in the world, then we have lost a huge part of our own humanity, I believe.
So it's important for us to use our intelligence and our will to do what we can before it's too late, to protect the habitat, to be conscious of nature, and to understand that we're all connected.
For Eye on Fordham, I'm Kiara Bellardini.